This podcast is sponsored by Demo Day Records. Welcome to a Fish Out of Water podcast. This is your host, Rich Lippman. Today, we are interviewing Alec Soth. This is part 1 of 2 of this podcast. External headphones. I think this is better. How's this? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, brilliant. Brilliant. We'll go straight into it. It will be about half an hour.
Okay.
Can you tell us, Alec, who are you? What do you do?
My name is Alec Soth, and I'm a photographer. And I do lots with photography, and I guess I stray outside of photography, but that artist word is always dangerous.
I see. Why is the artist word dangerous?
I mean, I don't know. It's silly. It's just it can sound pretentious in the wrong context, and I don't know which context I'm in right now. I'm on Zoom.
I see. You started off with sleeping with
By the Mississippi.
By the Mississippi. Is that something you dreamt about all your life as a kid?
I wouldn't say so. No. I mean, weirdly, I was always a homebody, and I dreamt about building things in my backyard or my room. I was quite domestic. So I wasn't have this fascination with travel or adventure, really.
I see that. Yes. Okay, we have you here. Just one moment. I'm just getting my notes very quickly. One moment. And was childhood a happy time for you?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, absolutely. It was, I mean, up to a point, of course. I think many people reach this point, but yeah, it was kind of a magical time.
And when you were a kid, were you looking visually? Were you thinking visually? Were you good at school? Were you drawing? Were you watching a lot of TV? What were your influences?
Oh yeah, interesting question. I think I had a rich imaginative life. So I had a lot of pretend friends. I had I lived in a fantasy world in my head. I don't think it was particularly visual necessarily. I think it was of the imagination, which is sort of why photography. I sometimes think it's a contradiction because I'm a very interior looking person, and of course photography is forced to be exterior. But yeah, I did. Yeah, I did drawing and so forth, but I wasn't. Yeah, I didn't think I was going to be an artist or anything like that.
You do you make your subjects feel comfortable? I mean, obviously, sometimes I can see through your book and your work, you approach strangers.
Yeah.
Yet they seem incredibly comfortable to take direction. How is this made possible?
I hear that a lot. I mean, I feel like I don't think I make people unusually comfortable. I feel like my own. I mean, it depends at what stage of work it was, but early in my career, I think my discomfort weirdly put people at ease in some ways.
It was honest, right?
I think, yeah, it was honest, and also I appeared non-threatening, both by my physical being and mannerisms, but also the camera I was using, which is large format. And, but I don't like if I go to a party, the last thing I'm known for is putting people at ease. I would say I don't think I have this aura of social ease.
So how would that? What would happen at a party? How would you interact?
Sorry, a bird is smacking into my window right now. That's not putting me at ease. Oh my God, sorry. Can I do one thing? We used to have the Post-it notes up here that kept the bird from doing this, and
That's
I
it.
need to do this right now.
Okay.
Wow. Slightly terrifying.
This records.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
Okay. Well, sorry, what was the question?
Yeah. At a party, how do you interact with people? What do you say? Do you remember a story that make
Wow, funny
anecdote?
question. No, I mean, I think one of the things that I've learned now is that to ask people questions, to not talk about myself, to talk about them as if possible. I mean, that puts me at ease, and certain people respond to that. But I think, if I was like a youngster, I wouldn't have known to do that. I would just hide in the corner. And I don't know if I have any good party stories, really. No. Sorry.
Are they connected with your photography? Do you sometimes recreate life through your photography?
Not in a one-to-one way, but sure. I mean, I actually think most of my work is about social social distance, social interaction, but also distance from the world or interaction with the world. So it's and so all the interactions that one might have had feed into the work that I do, but it's not one to one.
Including the famous swan on the bed, right? Two swans on the bed as a towel.
Sure. I mean, sure. That work in those motel rooms in Niagara Falls was very much love and longing and the desire for love. And so, like, staying sort of sometimes in honeymoon suites, that kind of thing, but alone, um, it's a way to sort of immerse myself in these issues of longing and so forth.
Why the big format camera? Is that something you worked with since the beginning? Is that
Yeah, I mean, I don't by any means exclusively work with it, and but before Sleeping by the Mississippi, I did plenty of work with other cameras. It was just I saw that a number of photographers that I really loved use that camera, so then I gave it a shot, and it has a really special quality. Yeah.
how do your subjects react to the large format camera?
I think for the most part it disarms them because it's just I think it reads as sort of old-timey or something, and thus less threatening and a kind of a curiosity. I mean, the one thing that it very much isn't is like a person with a telephoto lens, which is this aggressive act. So it feels less aggressive, I think.
You tend to get close to your subjects.
Physically close?
Yeah,
Or
as well as conceptually close.
oh, no, I mean, the funny thing about the large format is it's very hard to get too physically close. So I always think it's like I mean, I make the analogy to a ping pong table, but another one would be like two ends of a dining room table. It's like a very healthy social distance. Uh, and I would say that that's probably indicative of my emotional connection too. Very often is it can be briefly intense, but it's not sustained. Usually, I don't maintain relationships with people that I photograph.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
But do you send them the books afterwards?
Yeah, I send them books. I send everyone pictures.
Right.
Um, I did recently this year, in January, I actually visited the guy with the two airplanes, which is my most famous photograph. And it was the first time I had visited him. And he dug up the picture that I sent him 20 years ago or whatever it was. And so, yeah, so I've been good about that for the most part.
Do they sign release forms, your subjects?
They did in the early days, but I stopped that at a certain point because I found it I hate it, and I don't think it's actually necessary legally because I don't use them for other things. So within the context of art,
I see.
it's protected. If I was to sell, like toothpaste ads, I would get sued, but I'm not going to make toothpaste ads out of them.
How do you work with Magnum in that case? What kind of commissions do you get? Are they close to your art? Are they looking for a specific style? Or do they tell you how they want it? Or do they just say, Alec, this is the client? Um,
Well, I mean, an important thing to know that about Magnum is like when we say they are actually us because it's a cooperative. So it's like I am the owner of, I'm a co-owner of Magnum, so I'm working for myself in
I
a
see. I
sense.
see.
So theoretically, I have the power to say no to anything, to not do anything, whatever.
I see. I see.
Uh, what I do is a whole, like it's a whole spectrum of work, from very, very personal work, which somehow they are involved in, to very commercial work, which has lots of parameters around it. So it's not an easy question to answer.
Is it quite complex? I saw that.
You have
I,
no,
I,
you have no idea.
I
Yeah.
went to the studios in Paris,
Uh-huh.
had a look around
Yeah.
and bought some of the books, including one of yours.
I mean, no one, unless you're involved in it, no one knows. And it's like new people come into Magnum, new employees, new photographers, and it it takes a year to have any sense of what it is because it's so vast. The history is so long. The history between people living and dead is so complicated. And it's like an enormous family.
Go
And
that
if you
direction.
just like if you marry into a new family, it takes you a long time to understand the whole dynamic, um, and the kind of like intergenerational, you know, uh, trauma and and all of that. It's a vast thing. Yeah.
Do you think photography now is political? I mean, at Magnum, for example, when you get hired to do stuff, are they looking for an angle
Hmm.
or a
Wow. Interesting.
perspective?
Yeah. I like your curveball questions. It- I mean, the way personally, this is my feeling about Magnum is that, and this took me a while to figure out, but Magnum, it's perceived as because of its history of photojournalism and stuff, but it's always had all sorts of different types of photographers from the beginning. And I think of Magnum as a cooperative of photographic authors, and like authors, they all have individual takes. I mean, is most of it sort of left leaning or what have of course, but it's like, but there's many, many, many perspectives, and there's been times where I felt an internal pressure to to like respond as a photojournalist. For example, I live in Minnesota. It's where George Floyd happened. Um, it was COVID, so people couldn't travel, and yet I did not photograph the George Floyd situation. Not that I was getting pressure from Magnum, but because I felt politically it wasn't the right thing for me to do. Actually, I felt other people should be doing this work. Other people were doing this work. I didn't need to do it. And so it's really up to the photographer to make those decisions. And no, like if someone asks me to do something, I say no. Like I can't be forced to do anything I don't want to do.
See. How do you make a substantial living through prints, gallery, commissions, or book sales, or other? How does that work as a
It,
photographer?
it I mean, my philosophy from the beginning was because I came from the art side of things, and on the art side of things, it's the art world, which is like art sales. Um, but I didn't believe it was sustainable. I don't think it would be smart to think it's sustainable. And so most people then go for an academic career. And I didn't have an advanced degree. I sort of like missed that boat. And so I went this other route as a working photographer, as a sort of to complement the art stuff. And so ever since then, my philosophy is just have a lot of different balls in the air, so that like when the economic collapse happened in 2008, for example, the art world just tanked. And then I had other things that I could do.
For example,
Like, fashion work or, something like that. And so,
they come to you or you go to them?
fashion or that kind of thing.
Yeah.
They almost always come to me. Yeah. And they come to Magnum or to me. But it's, yeah. And I would, right now is a time like that where the art world is going through a lot of corrections plus the global situation. And so I just have different balls in the air. Some balls fall, other ones. So it's not consistent. I mean, if you looked at like a graph of my income over the years, it's just like it's up, down, left, right. Yeah. It's not stable, but it's a fun, it's a fun roller coaster.
I've got this image of that man with a penis in his car. How did that happen?
Man with a penis in his car from Niagara.
Yeah.
Wow.
Naked man.
Yeah, very obscure picture. Where did you see that?
I don't know. Was it released?
Which website was that on?
No, it was on a book. It's one of your books.
Yeah,
I'm in a cafe now. Yeah, I saw it. I thought it was incredible because it just looked so real. It's almost like one is a passenger just looking in.
Yeah,
and invisible.
So in the case of that work in Niagara, I was extremely frustrated because I went there. This was after Sleeping by the Mississippi, where everything went really well, and then in Niagara, I was really struggling, and I felt the work, everything lacked intensity, and I felt I needed to up the intensity of everything. And so rather than photographing couples, I would photograph them naked. I would put people in uncomfortable situations. I put myself in uncomfortable situations. And so in that case, that was like, it was almost like I was like sort of role playing, like cruising kind of situation or something. And that's where I use photography in all sorts of ways. It's interesting. I don't know. Do you know Nathan Fielder? Do you know who that is?
Okay.
He's got an HBO show called The Rehearsal right now. Anyway, you would never call him a documentarian. He's a comic, but he pushes the medium so far. And this to me is very inspiring. I don't want to be a pure documentarian. I don't want to be a pure fiction person for sure. But I like this tension. I like involving myself in the process, etc.
Is there a little bit of you in each picture?
Oh, sure. Yeah. I mean, one of the points, I always try to like put myself in there subtly so that like, in documentary films, when you hear the voice of the filmmaker off camera asking a question, that's sort of like an acknowledgement that the filmmaker is there and that they're involved. And
can you give us an example?
In that book, Niagara, I show my own penis. So that's so there's a photograph in a mirror basically, and something similar happens. It's almost a self-reference, but in my latest book. So there's an acknowledgement of my own participation or role in all of this. Yeah.
You mentioned uncomfortable situations. Is that uncomfortable feeling wise or uncomfortable where there's a possibility of death?
No, for the most part, not. I've not gone to dangerous situations. I've had a couple, things where I probably went further than I should have, but no, it's it's uncomfortable. It's like, you just asked me a question about the picture of the guy in the car. Like that's you're pushing a little further than some other people will push. And I think sometimes it's asking the question that you wouldn't ask at a cocktail party. You're like going a little further and then a little further. And for me, and photographically, it's like, you know, I I'm outside someone's home, I'm photographing them. I say, can I, see inside your house? I get inside the house. Can I see inside your bedroom? It's can I see inside your closet? Can I can I see inside your secret box holding your most private possessions? It's wanting more of that. Yeah.
In the car, did he know you were taking a picture?
Oh yeah. I mean, the funny thing is, so I'm using the large format camera. It's this
Awesome.
big. It's hard to focus. I'm outside the car. Actually, it's completely freezing cold, which is an issue in and of itself. And yes, yeah, yeah, fully, yeah, yeah. I mean, that's generally the case. Is that everyone? It's a collaboration. Yeah.
Interesting. The written word, is that something you come up with on the spot, or do you write it down immediately, your thoughts? I understand you also do research, historical research, where certain people, things happen in a particular place. For
Hmm.
example, that there was a car crash at night in the woods.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I, I have, I have um, a sort of love-hate relationship with text in its relationship to photography. Um, I in like backstory and research. Like I want to interject that. I want to. It's important to me, and yet I think too much of it kills pictures and kills the experience for the viewer. So I'm always wrestling with language, how much to use it. Do I hide it in the back of the book? Where do I put it? Do I use titles? All that kind of stuff. So I don't have a good answer, but it's always on my mind, I guess. Yeah.
If you were to do a project in England, would you travel around the country? What would it be about?
Hmm. I recently did a commission, and it was like I was supposed to photo. I could do anything in Italy, right? And I was like, I'm not going to sum up Italy, and I had very little time to do it. So I was not going to sum up Italy. So in that case, I went to Venice, and I went to a fancy hotel, and I did all the work in the hotel. And I'd done something similar in Japan before, kind of referencing Lost in Translation. I mean, I think I would feel very uncomfortable trying to like take on England. I would pick something very, very small, and that probably had something to do with being an outsider there. So I don't know what that means exactly, but I'm interested again in sort of acknowledging my own presence, my own lack of understanding, or so forth. Yeah.
That picture on your right, can you tell us a bit about it? The lady.
Oh,
Be
this is just a book. That I mean, this is so I'm a big, so for me, books are the primary way. It's like the first way that I think of distributing work. So these are just like other people's books. I mean, this is a book of photographs. They're all self portraits by this woman. But yeah, it's not mine.
okay.
Yeah.
And what about your future work? Are there any projects you're focusing on? Or do you focus on the travel, the road? You're gonna...
No, yeah, I'm super project based. So I finish a project and then I have to figure out the next one, much like a filmmaker or a novelist or what have you. And then basically I never talk about the next one because I want to feel free for it to change. And I have a long history of starting something and then it turns into something else or I abandon it. And if I talk about it too much, then I feel like I have to do it. So thus, no answer.
How do you get the funding? I mean, for example, when you're traveling around back in the early days, was it tricky? Did you have to save up? I'm obviously
Yeah,
away from home for weeks.
yeah,
Imagine.
I saved up and I got a couple grants. It took me a while to like get to the level where I could get a grant. So I got a grant. Took time off of work. Yeah, just cobbled together a way to do that. It's of course very different now. Yeah.
So we can look at a couple of photos here. Just one moment. Let me just. This podcast is sponsored by Demo Day Records. Thank you for listening to a Fish Out of Water podcast. This is your host, Richard Lippman. Should you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please get in touch.